Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to City Skylines 2, and welcome back to Columbia County. That's gonna take some getting used to, I've gotta be honest. It's been over a year of welcome back to Linden. I hope all's going well. I hope everything's good. Things are going well as always, etc., etc. It's gonna take some getting used to, but I'm excited. I am excited to be starting a new city or continuing to start a new city. So you know what? Let's just get right to it. I have some ideas for what I would like to do today. And the first thing that I did was actually off camera. I decided to go and get the 526 tiles mod because it lets me sell or get rid of tiles that I'd purchased, because I realized I kind of don't need the tiles that I bought out here. I was going to put some kind of landfill out on this farm, but then I thought, I have all of this space. Why don't I use it? I have all of this space. Why don't I use this? We've already been messing around with the surfaces to get this farm in here, so why don't I do the same thing over by the transformer station? Because that's reasonably what we could do. We could go in here and build a landfill right about there, right alongside the little regional road that we have. Now, it's obviously not the most luxurious thing to do. It's not really a warm welcome to Columbia County, but it's definitely, I think, the better idea. So I think that is kind of what we're going to do. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab some surfaces, which apparently this one exceeds city limits, which makes sense now that I think about it, because the surface itself does exceed city limits. But this entire thing, I'm just going to move it like that. I'm going to clear out some of these trees, and my thinking is that our landfill, whether I like it or not, is going to live right about there, and we're just going to get ourselves something relatively straightforward. So right about there gives us a storage capacity of 100 tons. Right about there gives us 182. So we'll just sort of circle this around, and then I'd like to modify it ever so slightly so it's actually nice and squared off like that. And I guess that's okay. I guess that's kind of what we're doing with it, and I guess that's going to work. And then for all of this, I sort of want to try and bring this little surface back in here as best I possibly can. Although looking at it, I might just need to extend this little road right to about there. So that should keep us pretty good. I'm kind of okay with that. We'll go back to the surface now. And what I'm wondering is, can I just bring it right to the edge of the road? I absolutely can. Do I want to bring it right to the edge of the road is the question, and honestly, I don't think I do. So we'll bring it to about there, we'll bring it to about there, and we're going to bring it to about there. And then this guy is going to sort of hug the side of this entire thing up to about that spot. This one is going to hug it right to about, say, there. And it gives us that little green barrier around this. We can have some fun with it. We can kind of do what we did over here a little bit later on. But that should give us some garbage capacity, and that's what I'm looking for. It is going to need a little bit of sewage and a little bit of water, though, so we'll take these pipes right underneath this regional road, kind of hugging the corner just a little bit there. That corner can actually be done. We could do that better, I think. I'm pretty sure I can make that look a fair bit better, so we'll take all of those out and just give it another slightly shorter run around the corner there, and there's what we're looking for. So now this thing should be up and running. It absolutely is. In terms of money, we are losing about $3,000 per hour, which is really concerning, but a decent chunk of that is going towards importing electricity. $31,673 is what we are spending on importing electricity. So we might want to look at doing something about that. We might want to consider not importing electricity and maybe leaning on, well, we could do wind turbines, we could do a small coal power plant, and really that's about it. It might have to be one or the other. I mean, the wind turbines are $7,500 a month. These guys are $5,000 to $45,000 per month. So yeah, we've kind of got some choices to be making right there, but I'm not super worried about it. What I'd like to do, I think, is I'd like to come over here and I want to just continue to grow the population a little bit. We do have access to medium density housing. That's something I don't really want to play with just yet. I'm not really feeling like I need to. So I'm just going to fill these spaces here, apparently with row houses that want to build on the wrong roads. So let me just fix that real quick because that is not something we're looking for right here. So we'll go up to zoning toolkit. We want to set these guys to not have zoning for now. And then this can go ahead and just build the way I want it to. Now, obviously, this is going to create more need for more electricity, but my hope is that what we can do is maybe take these taxes to 14% across the board and just see if that helps us out a little bit. We're looking at $102,000 estimated total on our taxes. We are looking at 2,500 loss per hour. It's not good. It could definitely be better, but this is kind of what we're dealing with. This is economy 2.0. I think that's something I forgot to mention in that first episode, is that this is actually the first time I've sat down to build a new city after economy 2.0. And if you don't know what economy 2.0 is, just in case there's someone out there that doesn't know what I'm talking about, economy 2.0 was an update to Cities Skylines 2 that went out at this point a couple of months ago and basically just sort of completely changed how the economy simulation is handled in the game. And so it is more challenging, it is more complicated, it is more difficult, and that's basically why I might struggle a little bit to get things going, because I haven't played on any kind of new city ever since that update went out. And that update is something that a lot of people were very, very excited about. I was very, very excited about it. I still am excited about it. I'm still really enjoying things like the detailers patch and the decorators patch and all that stuff. And I don't know. I'm still just really enjoying Cities Skylines 2. I mentioned a little while ago that I've kind of fallen in love with it, and that's very, very true. I really have. Obviously, you know, I think a lot of us went through a bit of a rough patch with Cities Skylines 2. I think that's a fair way to describe how a bunch of us were feeling about the game, but I'm excited about it. I've got to be honest. I really am. I'm kind of excited about Cities Skylines 2 again, and it's a really, really nice feeling to just enjoy playing this game. I know, you know, obviously there's things about it that are disappointing, and there's still a bit of a road ahead, and there's you know, we're all waiting on different bits of news, or we're waiting for one mod to come out or another mod to come out or whatever it might be. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't really enjoying my time with this game. I really, really would. Also, I'm really not sure what I was looking for here. I'm basically I'm rambling a little bit while building some roads. I'm hoping we can start making some money, but I don't think building roads is necessarily going to be the way to do that. But I'm going to just continue to do what I'm doing anyway, because I do think having these extra little roads in here is going to be a bit of a good idea. I think you can also, oh, that's not what I'm looking for. You can also get extended to about there, and you can go to about there, and hopefully, no. It really doesn't want to behave today, does it? Okay, let's try it in the other direction. Let's bring you out. Let's get my 88 is right here. Let me try snapping that again to get the exact number I'm looking for. So 72, 88 is right there. Can I bring that straight through? Get rid of you and get rid of you. There's what I'm looking for. That's much better. You might be wondering why this road exists, by the way. I was kind of looking at the map and thinking that a bridge over to this other regional road might not be a bad idea at some point. So I'm kind of just putting this road in here with the expectation that it might get turned into a regional road once I have access to highways. These guys here might be a similar story. A little bridge going over here, a little bridge going over there. This one, maybe not, because it's not got a whole lot of land to work with, but I'm just sort of eyeballing some potential expansion plans for later on, and I think that's kind of, that seems like a good idea. That seems like a good thing to be doing. I'm also thinking that I might do a little alleyway through here, just to be a little bit different. I don't want to put too many little intersections on this, given that it might end up being a regional road. So I think what we can do is turn off our grid snapping, bring you back through there, and take those guys out. And that gives us a little road that kind of cuts through there. And I think that's good. We'll do the same thing over here, and we'll have that little connection. And that seems like a nice little continuation of the alleyways that we have the entire way through here. And I like this. It's another bit of space. It's another bit of weird space that I'm excited to develop in. And I might even go so far as, you know what, this road here, just looking at it, if we get our zoning, this could continue down, and maybe, let's see, can I get it to go, is that going to line up? That might line up. Can I get these guys to line up all nice like as well? I totally can. I don't think they're perfectly aligned, but I'm okay with that. I really don't mind it. Although, looking at it, I think if I shifted this a little bit, I might be able to get it to line up really well. In fact, could I just go off of there and have it line up? I think I could. I think this is the spot that I'm looking for. I do. I think that's a little bit better. I don't think it's perfect, but what I can do is I can bring this alleyway straight over here. And that's just, again, it's a nice little continuation of what we're doing. I think we'll bring an alleyway down here as well. And it just gives us some weird space to play with. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to filling all this out. But what I think we need to do is we need to look at this money situation. 2,500 loss is still ongoing. Let's, oh, that's the pause button. Let's figure out what we can do about that. We are having some problems with crime. We are having some problems with people waiting for ambulances. Well, let's see. So we have got this little medical clinic down here. Is it doing okay? It's got a decent number of patients. It's got some pharmaceuticals. It's got 2 vehicles in maintenance, 1 in use. So it should be doing okay. If we have a look into our services, are we, yeah, 50% budget. I forgot this was something I may or may not have done, is basically I cut the budget on a lot of things because we were really in a kind of a bad way. And I think, I mean, we're doing better now that I've just cut the garbage budget as well, but yeah, we really do need to grow this population a little bit. So I think what we'll do just in that, or on that topic, I suppose, is we'll go in here and we will disable zoning on this road so that nothing is going to build on it. It's going to give us a weird gap there, which I don't love, but I think that's kind of okay. It's going to have to be okay for now. I'm going to just disable zoning on the entire thing up to there to remind myself that it is going to be some kind of regional road. And then in here, we'll do some regular old zoning just to get some people into that space. I think in here, we'll do some regular old zoning as well. I think these guys as well, I'm going to do just a bit of regular zoning. And then right here, we'll do something like this just to get some zoning in there. And I think over here, we'll do some row housing just to fill up that space. This is not, that's not where you guys need to be. That is not what I'm looking for. I really need to make sure all of these roads are set up the way I need them to be, which there's what I'm looking for. Okay. My hope is that we can basically outgrow, oh, I didn't realize we had some small little row houses in here as well. My hope is that we can outgrow our debt situation. Basically, we can keep the population growing enough that what's going to happen is that we just make more money, right? There's more people paying taxes. That's the hope and that's the goal. Whether or not that works out is yet to be seen. But that's kind of where I'm at, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, and that's kind of what I want to do. I also want to deal with the policing problem, and I do want to deal with the, well, there isn't a fire problem right now, but I can promise you at City Skylines, there will be. So we're going to need to deal with all of those things. I think what we can also do is maybe just build ourselves a little, let's say 200 meters and into there. And this can just be another industrial space. I'm kind of okay with that. Is there room in the middle for anything? No, not really. That's a little bit unfortunate. What is this? So if I go from this, is that the middle of that? So that's 88 that way. That's 80. So this is the middle here. So if I do this, it gives us a little access road. I really don't know if I want people building on this road. I probably don't, but I also probably don't have a choice right now. So you know what? Let's just do a bit of industry. What we'll do is 3 deep right about here, just to bring that demand down. And it looks like it nearly got rid of it, which is pretty good. And then in here, we'll do this just to fill out those spaces. And now we have no demand for anything, which is honestly concerning. It's definitely concerning. We do have some people still moving in here, which is fine. We do have a little bit of demand down here for zoning for commercial. So if there is demand for it, that will fill in. And I think right here, we're going to do the same thing. just so that we can hopefully fill in that space as well. We're also really close to getting another milestone, which I think at a grand village, we get low density offices, which is very exciting. We also get the district tool. We get natural disasters, which I don't know if I have natural disasters enabled. We do get transportation though, and I think getting buses in here would be pretty good for us. I think my big worry though, if I'm completely honest, is, I mean, it is the money thing. Losing 1,000 isn't so bad, but it's the money thing on top of the fact that there is a demand for policing, and there will absolutely be a need for fire coverage as well. My worry is basically that we can't afford policing right now. But let's have a look. So a small police station is 15,000 a month. It is this little building right here, which is not going to fit in any of my blocks unless I put it in one of these ones over here, which I might. Honestly, a little joint sort of corner for a police department and fire station might not be a terrible idea. It's just, it's a bit of a ways away from everything. That's sort of my concern with it. It's really not all that convenient. Although I could, well, I could potentially put it on this corner if I changed this road a little bit, which is definitely a possibility. I mean, I like this alleyway continuing the entire way down there, but it might need to go for the sake of getting a little police department. And I think I'm going to do that. So let's put our police department basically there. We'll turn on anarchy so I can just place it wherever I want. And that did give us milestone 4, which I very quickly clicked through. That was ever so slightly accidental. But this guy, my thinking is I kind of want it to just be there. And I think that's all right. I think that's a good place for it. And then this little alleyway, I guess, would have to go from here, right? That's my other thought, is it would go something like that. Now, whether or not that works, I mean, it kind of looks like it will, which is really surprising. I wasn't expecting it to work. Ooh, it is messing with the zoning though. Okay, hold on. Can we get this to not mess with the zoning? That's going to be the real question. So up to there, it isn't messing with it. And right to there, it also isn't messing with it. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. I can totally turn this into another little detailed space for the police department. I like that a lot. I do. That works so much easier than I thought it would. That's kind of fantastic. How much money are we losing? 1,780 per hour. Okay. You know what? That's fine. That's that's totally fine. I really, oh man, I don't know how obvious it is, but it should be obvious. I was not expecting that to work at all. You need to go away. You need to go away, and you need to go away. Do we have any other small ones in here? We do not. Do we have any little tiny row houses elsewhere? It doesn't look like we do. We are getting different sized row houses though, which means they're upgrading, which is great news. But I think what I'd like to do with this space is I'd like to have a look and see, can I get a little parking facility in here? Just a tiny, tiny little thing. I absolutely could. And I could put it there as well, which would give sort of a throughput towards the police department. So you know what? I might do that. That might not be a bad idea. I could do something over here as well. I could do something here if I wanted to, which honestly, I'm not against doing either. I think turning a lot of this space into a parking facility is probably fair enough, given that we do have the school right next door. We could sort of continue that existing parking facility through, which is, I think that's what we're going to do for there. And then here, I think we will do something like that. It's a teeny tiny little parking thing, but honestly, I'm okay with it. I really don't mind it. We also have a lot of police cars going out. And I think this is one of the first times I've seen the North American style police cars in City Skylines 2, which if I remember right, they're basically, what is that? That is, so the front of that is basically a Ford Taurus, right? Or is it a Fusion? No, I think it's a Taurus. And then the back of it looks like a Chevy Capri. Anyway, that's just, I've played a lot of Grand Theft Auto roleplay, and I know a lot more about both American law enforcement and also, well, specifically California law enforcement, and also the most commonly used police cars by American law. I know a lot more about it than I reasonably should. It's kind of, honestly, it's kind of cool. I like, it lets me be a kid again, to be honest. It really does. It lets me be like, man, you know what's really cool? Police cars. You know why they're cool? Because they get flashing lights and they go fast. That's basically what's going on. That's basically me. Anytime I get to look at a police car, it's like, yeah, it's flashing lights and going fast. That's my entire thing. Anyway, I think since these guys can technically drive straight through here, we will just have this weird little connection here. I think we'll expand it ever so slightly on this side just so it's kind of symmetrical. So these nodes can just get shifted back ever so slightly. And then over here, I don't know if that's just concrete that we're using there, but let's have a little bit of a look at the surface I've got selected. It definitely isn't. That's definitely not what we're looking for. So let's have a look. It's not going to be brick. It's going to be pavement. I think it's just pavement. And then what I'd like to do is just surround this with the pavement surface as well. So something kind of like this. We do need to extend it down because this is the area that cars can kind of turn around in. I don't like that we need that little extra part there, but honestly, it's probably fair enough. I think what we could even do is something like this, where maybe it kind of just comes around a little bit. So we kind of have this kind of thing going on. It looks a little silly, and this I think is a little too much perhaps. So this would be more like here. I could curve this. I absolutely could. It is, I've done it before. It's just an absolute pain to curve surfaces in City Skylines 2 because there's no, you're just using a whole lot of little points to make it happen. But I think that'll be enough. I think I can live with that. And I think with some grass surfaces in there, I can make this look a little bit better. I do have some choices here, which is interesting. Grass checkered lawn. What does that look like? I don't know where it comes from, where it's come from. Oh no, absolutely not. That is way too bright. Let's just stick with the, you know what? Maybe we can get away with, you know what? I don't think we can. Let's stick with the regular grass surface. I was going to go for the nice trimmed one there with the lines, but I think we'll just go for the regular grass surface around this entire thing. And we can detail it a little bit. I know I said in that last episode we weren't doing a tremendous amount of detailing, but we needed this little police department. We've got this little police department, so let's just make it look a little bit better. This is gonna be a pain. See, this is what I mean. If you look real close, you can see like all these little nodes that give you that curve there. It's not actually a curve. It's it's really well done. It's just a total pain. So I think what we'll do is follow this entire thing around. We'll go out to there. We'll come down to here. I'm not interested in following that exactly. We'll do this, which gives us a beautiful grass surface. And then right under here, we actually have a, okay, we have the manicured grass under here. I wasn't expecting that. So there was a grass surface underneath this hedge right here. I extended it. I wasn't expecting it to be the manicured one, which kind of makes me really tempted to swap these guys out, but I don't think I will. I think we'll live as we are right now. I think we'll just kind of move on from it. I would like to get my hands on those bushes just to extend them down a little bit, but I think the easiest way to do that is going to be with a net lane, and we'll just go for what I'm assuming is hedge low 1. Maybe not. What about hedge low 2? Yeah, hedge low 2 is what we're looking for. We'll turn off all of our snapping right here because I need this to be as perfect as I can possibly get it, which is going to be to about there. And then I need it to come down sort of this way as best it possibly can. I don't really want it too close to the cars because it's kind of going to scrape them a little bit. Obviously it isn't City Skylines, but you can imagine people don't want to get their cars scraped up by hedges. And I think right here, we'll just bring it sort of over like this. So it's not going to tuck into that corner. I think that looks all right. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. When it comes to the rest of this, I'm sort of thinking that hedges might be the way to go. It is a police department though, so it really might make sense to go for some proper fences. And I have mentioned I do really love this specific fence right here. These beautiful brick textures. I just don't think they make sense for what we're doing. So you know what? We'll stick with the hedges. I think that's kind of going to be the way to go. And somehow, some way, I need this to line up like that. There we go. And then let's get it to snap. Hopefully, can I get it to line up right here? I absolutely can. So you're going to go there. Oh man, somehow I need to get it to curve around here. Oh, that's going to be tricky. Let's just sort of wing it a little bit to about there. We'll bring it down to about here, and that should be all right. That actually doesn't look too bad. And then the last little thing I'd like to do here is just bring it sort of down and bring it over to here, and then maybe up to about here as well. This entire section, this probably should be, this should be enclosed as well. And there we go, we have ourselves a little tiny police station on the corner. It's got some parking, it's doing what I need it to do. I also put some little road markings in there because I thought it kind of tied it all together. And honestly, I like this a lot. I think it turned out pretty good. I am thinking it might not be a bad idea to go in here and just get rid of some of the parking here. So put some slightly wider sidewalks on some of these roads just to stop people from parking right where the vehicles would be coming out. And I think that kind of makes sense given that we do have some dedicated parking spaces in here. So I think that looks honestly pretty solid. I like the use of the space. I think it really comes together. And you know, it gives us a little school right here, little police station right here. I like it a lot. I really do. I think it looks great. So how are we doing for money? Negative 2,000. That's not good, but we do have demand for housing across the board. We do have demand for offices. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to say that this space over here, this area specifically, is going to have some offices. So we'll do some offices right there. We can do some offices right here. We'll do some offices right here. They're probably going to build on this road, which we don't love, but it's gonna just have to be a thing. And I think I'm also going to just continue some new little alleyways through here as well. So we'll go like this, and we'll go like this. And then for this side, do I want to get a little bit weird? I kind of do. I'm gonna be honest. I think a little road like this can give us some slightly larger offices here, just for a little bit of variation in terms of the size of the space that we're working with. And I think that's hopefully going to be pretty good. I am thinking that we could also do an office right here just for something a little bit different. And then maybe, yeah, you know what? We probably won't have that much demand. So I think that's a pretty good use of the space. I know the game's paused. I need to stop doing that, but I think for now it's probably fine. What do we want to do next to this school? That's the real question. We don't actually have all that much in the way of entertainment facilities right now. So maybe we should have a little bit of a look at development and see what we can do. So park maintenance is going to be relatively important. I kind of want some sports parks. I think that would be really good. We don't need trains right now. We definitely don't need any of this other stuff. Policing, I mean, the welfare office would be good. We still need to get fire coverage. Don't need a college, probably don't need anything in here. I think reasonably, I want to say park maintenance. I want to say sports parks. That leaves me 3 development points. I don't really care about those right now. But the sports parks, well, I could come in here and I could do a little tennis court. I could do a little basketball court. We could put these kind of next to the elementary school. And I think that would be a really good idea. So let's do some tennis courts. How do I want to do these though? That's going to be the real question. Now, what I'm kind of thinking, and I've also realized that whatever way I've got my color, my lighting going on right now, everything's in so much. I need to figure that out, man. Look, Lumina is a great mod. This right here, it's kind of difficult to see the UI. I might have it, something might be wrong with it. It's great. I love that you can kind of preserve all of like the saturation and the contrast, but it never works for me. I really need to sit down and learn how it works and get it set up properly, because everything is just, I don't know. It never really works all that well for me, but regardless, my thinking is that maybe we'll do these guys. I'm slightly tempted to turn them around and then put like a little alleyway in here, but we'll do those. And then we'll do a couple of little basketball courts right here. Seems like a really great idea. I'm also not 100% sure if I have them downloaded, but I'm curious if I look for basket. Do I have Sully's? I do have Sully's decals. So these exist to replace the existing basketball court decals. So you just don't have this like super vibrant color going on. You've got, you know, like a much more realistic blue. You've got blue and green. You've got the dark one. You've got the light one. You've got a red one. You got red and yellow. I love this. This is such a great idea. And honestly, I mean, what color is the school right now? It's that red brick. Do we maybe want to continue that sort of red brick thing through here? I don't think this is going to be lined up perfectly, but I think I'd like to get it pretty close. And I think, honestly, right there is pretty good. And then over here, we can do exactly the same thing. We'll try and line it up. We'll bring it down right about there. And that just changes it. It just gets rid of the super vibrant saturation. I mean, even here is kind of a similar story. We've got this super bright, vibrant saturation going on with the tennis courts, which I think I'm going to briefly get rid of because I'm noticing a little bit of, you know, terrain deviation right there. And I would just like to get a nice strong terrain brush, a little bit smaller. And I just want to make sure that this is all roughly the same height. I really don't want to do too much terraforming with this series. There's really not a lot of need for it, but I just want this. You know what? Maybe it goes there. So it is nice and flat. We'll go for right there. I don't love the sand in front of it, but we can work with that. And then what we're looking for is tennis. And I think there's also, yeah, tennis courts. There we go. So this gives us some choices. And honestly, I'm kind of thinking green. I kind of like the green and blue, actually. You know what? I think green and blue is exactly what we're going to go for. So somehow, some way, I need to line this up, and that's going to be slightly trickier because that's a huge decal. That looks good enough for me, though. I'm not really too worried about it being exactly perfect. I'm never going to look at it as closely as I'm looking at it right now, so we'll not concern ourselves too much with it being 100% perfect. But I think right about there seems good as well. We have a little bit of orange sticking out underneath there. I'm kind of wondering, can I just shuffle this decal to hide that? I totally can. Is it going to be the same thing over here? Can I sort of shuffle you down a little bit? No, it looks like we might actually have to have that orange showing through, which is a little, I mean, I could fix that by just putting, I can just put some bushes along there, right? Oh wait, no, I can still see it. Hold on. Let me oh man, you remember in the last episode when I said I wasn't going to do a tremendous amount of detailing, and then I did, and now I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm not going to spend forever getting these exact, and here we are. Yeah, it's a problem, man. It is a problem, and it's one that I'm gonna figure out. But for now, let me do a little pedestrian path just in here. We'll turn off these guidelines. We'll run it right alongside this guy. We'll run it right behind these guys. And I kind of just want them to connect there in the middle. And that just gives us a nice little space for people to walk around. I'm kind of going to do the same thing here as well, because I think I could be kind of cheeky and maybe use move it to just have this pedestrian path. No. Oh, wow. That's not a good thing at all. Okay. You know what? We're never going to see that orange. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's not that big a deal. I need to not worry about it because I'm going to sit here forever and I'm just going to look at it. So that's what we're going to go for. Just a nice little facility. We could maybe do, well, you know what, actually, let me get my grid snapping. Do I want to double up these paths? There's not really any need to, but the reason I'm thinking about doing this is because what I could do with this is obviously have this come out to here, get rid of that little extra part. We can connect you over like this. We could, I suppose, do this as well. And then if I put some trees down there, it just gives us a little bit more separation between this and whatever we build in the rest of that space. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm also probably going to replace this surface, but for now, let me just go in here and we'll use, I want to say birch trees. And I'm going to place these by hand because I really don't think I'm going to be placing all that many of them. So we'll do something like 4 of them right there. We'll do 1, we'll do 2, we'll do 3 of them right there. And we'll aim for 1, 2, we'll do 3, and we'll do 4 of them right there. And that just gives us, like I said, that little bit of separation. I think in this middle spot, we'll do a nice big oak tree. And then I think down this side, we can do maybe not birch trees, maybe some linden trees, just as a little nod to what came before. Just a couple of little linden trees right down the side of this road. And I think that looks all right. I'm really not wanting to do, when I say too much detailing, what I mean is I don't want to spend an hour just detailing a tiny little park. I'm okay doing a little bit with trees, but I'm not, we're not spending forever doing, you know, going crazy with things. In saying that, I do want some grass right in here. So why do I want this, why do I want this grass to go is the real question. I think, I'm kind of wondering, can I line it up with the grass that's over here? I think I could do that actually. If it goes in line with this road, I think this is going to do exactly what I want it to do. I'm hoping it's going to do exactly what I want it to do. And yeah, there we go. It does. It lines up with the surface that we have over here. I think that looks pretty good. You know what I think this place needs? It just needs a little, just a little something at this little spot right here. So we'll do like a little bush. We'll do a different little bush next to it. We'll do, do I want to do flowers in there? I don't know that I do. Maybe like a slightly larger bush and then an apple tree just right about there, just to kind of fill in that space and make it a little bit more wild. And I think that's going to be enough for those parks, other than the surface here that I totally forgot to get rid of. Okay, so that looks better. The only downside is we have a little bit of a homeless problem going on in here, but you know what? It's fine. The other downside is I can still very clearly see this orange line, but you know what? We're not gonna think too much about that. We'll try and do something about the homelessness issue in a second, but I do want to have a look and see. We do have an office right, or yeah, that is an office right there. And these guys over here, for the most part, are still building offices, which means we are absolutely making money, which is beautiful news. Very, very happy about that. Really, really pleased that we're making money. I don't really want to do much about the high density demand that we have right now. And I really don't want to start leaning into medium density housing just yet either. That's something I'd kind of like to try and avoid doing because I just don't think we need it. Although in saying that, can I get highways? I absolutely can get highways. Let me unlock highways and let me unlock roundabouts as well, because I'm surprised I haven't got those yet. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to go in here and I'm just going to replace this entire road with a highway, because that's kind of what it's supposed to be. And I think the way we'll do this is maybe by shuffling it to the left, so we're left with a little bit of a gap right there. I don't know if I'm going to appreciate myself for doing that, but I do think the little gap is going to be kind of important, because what it means is I can actually do a little natural barrier between these houses and what is effectively going to be a regional road. It also means that if I happen to expand this thing at some point, I might be able to get a little, yeah, so I can do that kind of thing, where we get a little extra turning lane without having to worry too much about taking over whatever other space is in there. In fact, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So let me turn off my guidelines. Let me go here. Let me get a little, you know, asymmetrical highway thing here. And we want to do this. And then we want to do, oh man. Do we want to do this? Hold on a minute. We'll do it that way. I don't know. Yeah, that's what we're going to go for. That looks fine. So you kind of have to cut across if you're, yeah, that'll be fine. That should be okay. This might all get turned into sort of more junction-y kind of things at some point, but for now, I think it's totally fine. These little roads are doing what I need them to do as well, which is great. We are making over $1,000 per hour now, which is also great. I guess what we should do is try and deal with some of the demand that is creeping in. So for these guys right here, I don't really know what to do with this space. I've kind of given myself a really awkward space to work with, but I would like to do something in here. I also want to make sure I've got zoning in this. So what way do I want to do this? That's going to be the real question. I guess if I brought a road down here, we could, yeah, I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Let me bring this road down here. Let me bring this road straight through. Get rid of those parts. And that kind of gives me some zoning here where we could do row houses. And I think row houses are kind of what I'm looking for. So let me do We do some row houses right there. Let me do a row house right here. We'll do the same thing in this space. And right here, we'll get a couple of, oh, do I want tiny little row houses in here? You know what? I don't think we do. We'll have a path that comes straight through, and that'll be even better. For this space, we could have a little pedestrian path as well. So we'll do some row houses here. And, oh, wait, no, we're not building on this guy. Never mind. Hold on. You guys all need to go away, because what we're actually doing here is we're going to give ourselves, oh, I don't know. I don't actually know what we're going to do here. They are going to be on this road. They are, what is that? That's 6. So we're always going to have this gap here. I hadn't really thought about this. Maybe this alleyway should just go away. Or we just turn it into a regular road. That would be an option as well. Turn it into a regular road, have some zoning on it, and then just have some guys that are basically, so something like that. We'll have some buildings with their backs facing this highway. That actually seems like a really solid idea. I think that's what we're going to do. So this space is going to be row houses, just like so. We'll fill that in. And this space is also just going to be row houses. So we'll fill all of that in as well. You guys are a little bit small. Those guys were supposed to be small, but that's a pretty good use of the space, I think. In here, we could maybe get away with something like this and something like, ooh, interesting. Okay, new signature building. We'll have a look at it in a second. These guys are hopefully going to build here, but my thinking was we have this empty space in the middle. That can just be for a path. That seems like the perfect little place for it. So we'll just do something like this. It's going to come right down to about there. And then I need it to hug the sides of these buildings, which I don't know how well it's going to do that, but we're going to try our best. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. Although I think have I lost some zoning in here? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I'll tell you what we'll do instead then. We'll bring it straight across this way. We'll take out that lower part. And then we can just, well, we get more zoning here, which is great. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get rid of you. And yeah, we can just do some trees in here. We can also continue, like I said, this path straight through, and we'll do some trees in this space as well. In fact, maybe there is no way this is going to line up perfectly, right? There's absolutely no way that this is going to, it does. Okay. I'm very pleased with that. I'm very, very pleased with that. Let's get some details in here. Let's get some trees in here. Let's just sort of hide our crimes a little bit. Let's also do some row houses up there as well. And that's honestly a really good use of that space. We got a bunch of people living next to the school. It is row houses. It's not the most inspired. It's not the most interesting looking right now, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm very, very okay with it. Let me see what I want in here. I'm thinking, I think a nice big oak tree right in here seems like a really good shout. In fact, can I get 2 of them? Just 2 giant oak trees right on that corner. I'd like another one right here. Another one right here, and another one right there. And then we'll throw some hickory trees in here for a little bit of extra color. Maybe a nice little birch tree down here, and right on that corner as well. That's maybe not quite on the corner where I want it to be, but it's close enough. Let's get it right there. And it just brings it together. It kind of continues those trees the whole way through. We could, if we wanted to, do something in here. I remember when I said I wasn't doing detailing? Here we go again. Let's do a little something here. I kind of have an idea for what for what I'd like to do. I'm thinking fences. I'm thinking just a little fence across there, and I'm thinking just a little fence across there. And it just sort of encloses it. It's very yellow looking, but it does sort of enclose those houses from the path, and I think that's important. And then you know what, just for the hell of it, let's do a couple of birch trees in here. We'll get a nice big birch tree there, nice big birch tree there, little birch tree there, do another one there, and we'll throw maybe a nice little linden tree just here, and we'll do another one here, and one last little one, I think there, and that's going to be enough. Again, it brings it together. And that's what I'm looking for. We're up to 2,300 people. We are making almost $3,000, which is great. We have a little bit of demand creeping in from more offices. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Given that there seems to be no demand for commercial right now. We'll swap this out for more offices, although I really don't want you guys building on that. Well, no, I really don't want you guys building on that road. Let's do this and this. I mean, it's built on the road, but it's a smaller footprint, so I'm kind of okay with it. Honestly, oh, is winter coming through? It's starting to snow. Oh, it looks really cool. I haven't seen snow in this game in a while. I'm gonna be honest, it really has been a minute. The only downside is it doesn't seem to be covering the surfaces all that well. Well, you know what? It actually kind of is. All right, I'm okay with that. Oh, I forgot how pretty. It's actually kind of blinding. Okay, this is definitely an example of me needing to do something about my, oh man. Oh, that's really bright. Let me zoom in, because let me just look at this. That's really, yeah, I need to do something with my, with my graphics preset. I'll tell you what I think I'll do, just because I think it's going to be easier than spending the next 3 hours, because I spent 5 hours troubleshooting City Skylines 2 between this episode and the first. I'm just going to turn off, what is it, Lumina, until I figure out how it works, because this is a bit much right now. It really, really is. So the next episode might look a little more faded, I guess. I know the graphics aren't quite as contrasty as they will be right now, but I think given the snow, I think that's going to be a good thing. I'm pretty sure I do have, yeah, I've got time and weather anarchy. I can turn, I could turn off the snow if I wanted to, but I'm kind of enjoying it for now, so we'll live with it. We just need to turn off Lumina, which is something I'll do between this episode and the next, which means, you might have figured it out already, that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. I'm going to zoom in again. That's really bright. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.